Welcome to qnawire.
So here we're going to choose upward to be positive. And we can say that y initial equals 0 meters, and this is going to be the level from which the ball was thrown. Therefore, the initial velocity would be equal to positive 14 meters per second. And we know that if that's the case, the acceleration would equal g, which would equal negative 9.80 meters per second squared. So in this case, gravity is going to be negative, and we're going to say that the location of the window is y final. So y final is going to equal 23 meters. So to find the initial velocity, we can say that velocity final squared equals velocity initial squared plus 2g times delta y. Now, this is part A. To find velocity initial, this is going to be equal to velocity final squared minus 2 times g delta y, all to the 1/2 power. And we can solve. So v initial is going to equal 14 meters per second. This will be quantity squared minus 2 times negative 9.8 meters per second squared, and then multiplied by 23 meters, all to the 1/2 power. This is equaling 25.4 meters per second. So this would be our initial velocity. For part B, they want us to find the final height. So we can say that velocity final squared equals velocity initial squared plus 2 times g delta y. Therefore, and we know that delta y is, of course, y final minus y initial. Therefore, y final would be equal to y initial plus v final squared minus v initial squared divided by 2 times g. And this is going to be equal to 0, the y initial. We know that y final at the peak is going to also be 0. So we can say, let's erase this. So we know that y final essentially would just be negative 25.43 meters per second quantity squared, and then divided by 2 times negative 9.80 meters per second squared. This will be equal to approximately 33 meters. So this would be our y max. And for part C, they want us to find the time elapsed to reach the window. So we can say v final equals plus gt. We're going to say that t is, of course, equal to v final minus v initial divided by g. So this is going to be equal to 14 meters per second minus 25.43 meters per second divided by negative 9.80 meters per second squared. And this is equaling 1.17 seconds. That would be your answer for part C. And finally, for part D, we want to find the time elapsed from the window to reaching the street. Again, when you reach the street again, it's going to be the negative direction of the initial velocity. So what I mean by that is v final again equals v initial plus gt. However, here again, t equals v final minus v initial divided by g. However, this is going to equal negative 25.43 meters per second, because v final would be equal to v initial from the starting point, so from the ground. However, it's going downwards. So here, the final velocity is going to be negative 25.43 meters per second. And then we're going to say minus v initial. So minus v initial would be the speed of the ball as it passes the window. So this would be minus 14 meters per second. And again, divided by negative 9.80 meters per second squared. And we find that t is going to be equal to approximately 4.0 seconds. That is the answer for part D. Now here, if we want to find the total time, t total, would simply be equal to 4.0 seconds plus 1.17 seconds, and this is equaling 5.17 seconds. This would be the total time the ball was in the air. That is the end of the solution. Thank you for watching.